Hi, Michelle here, back again. Today we will talk about sexual economics on the basis of microeconomy. In the last video, we spoke about sexual economics on the basis of macroeconomy. You learned how to identify the agents that affects the price of sex on an international level. You learned about the relationship between the size of a population and the price of sex. You also learned about the relationship between global economic crisis and their effects on the price of sex. Right now, you will learn about the factors that affects the price of sex in an individual level, or you can also say in the micro level. You can learn how people influence the price of sex in individuals affects the sexual scales of supply and demand right now. In the second part of this video, you will learn what are the consequences to the individual, men, women, and society if the price of sex is high or if the price of sex is low. Good for you that you learned about macro sexual economics. But while in the macro sexual economics, there are only two major agents that is going to affect the price of sex. In micro sexual economics, there are many aspects that influence the price of sex. And this is what you're about to learn right now. Every single person have the power to make the price of sex go higher or go lower. Let's talk first about the facts that makes the price of sex to go high. So, are you ready? Because the information that I'm about to give you right now is going to be hard to swallow, no matter if you are a man or if you are a woman. So, sit down and try to relax. Let's begin talking about the supply. Who is the supply? Women are the supply. The price is high when a woman is under 40. And the price is even higher when a woman is under 30. The price is high when she had few sex partners in the past. The price is high when she wears sexy clothing, because the sexy clothing would improve sexual arousal on men, and that naturally would increase the demand for sex. The price is high when she is pretty, and I don't even need to say anything else. Now, that you know those curious statements, let's talk about things that makes the price of sex to be low. The price is low when a woman is ugly. The price is low when she had many sex partners before. The price is low when a woman have high sex drive. And the last one is the hardest. But the price is low if a woman is over 40. Now, let's talk about the facts that influences the demand. Who is the demand? Men, of course. For a man, the demand is high when he has few opportunity where sex might happen. The demand is high when there is only a few women available to him. But take note that for men, there is almost no situation where the demand is low, because the demand is always higher than the supply. But some sociologists had theorized that the demand is low when a woman have high sex drive, because according to them, men don't like easy sex. Sociologists had also theorized that the demand is low when there is more women than men, and in this case, he has too many options to choose from. What about you? What do you think? Do you want the price of sex to be high, or do you want the price of sex to be low? Now, this is the part where everything becomes more interesting. We are moving to the second part of the video, and you are going to be surprised by what you are about to learn. That's why you should subscribe to this channel, so you don't miss any valuable content coming up. Come on, guys, raise your hands up high if you want the price of sex to be high, and raise your hands up high if you want the sex price to be low. Great. Well, for the people in the back who chose the price of sex to be high, this is what you can expect. A high price for sex would increase the amount of marriages. Men would propose a lot sooner, and men would look for a wife more and often. However, notice that the divorce rate would be higher as well. Why? Because women would be more reluctant to get married and stay married. Think about it. Why a woman would stay married with just one man, providing sex for him and only him, when she could provide sex for a lot of men and get paid more money? This is the reason why in high income countries the divorce rate is higher, because sex in high income countries is more expensive. So, women are more encouraged to leave their relationships. That's why another thing that can happen if the price of sex is high is that sex workers would make more money, which would be a great thing for them, because a lot of women get into sex work because they don't have money. But a bad thing is that if the price of sex was high, men would consume more pornography. Why would women concerned about the consume of pornography? Well, because pornography is a way men find to relieve their sexual cravings, and that behavior usually lowers the demand for sex. Now, you see that when the price of sex is high, naturally opposite forces of the demand will collide with the supply to lower the price. Another thing that could happen if the price of sex was high, it would be the emergency of polygamy. Because if the price of sex was high, only a few men would be able to afford it. Women would have a very limited amount of men to choose from. Women would have to share the same man with multiple women, because monogamy is also a way society had evolved, so men of lower income could have access to women. Now, before you come after me, know that I don't like the idea of sharing a man. But think about it. If polygamy was a norm and women had to share the same man, women would face less pressure to stay in shape and to look good. Why? Because in monogamy societies, it's quite hard to convince a man to marry you in less than 2 months. I know that, and I have written a whole book about it. It's called The Green Card Chess Game: How to Win a Love Marriage. Why? Because a man decides to marry a woman if she convinces him that she is the best thing that he can ever get, that she is the best deal possible, and that he won't find any prettier. The truth is that a lot of men don't marry a woman even after many years of staying with her, just because they are thinking that they might find a better deal or along his path. It's very interesting that a man is not very choosy when it comes to casual sex, but it's even more interesting to know that a men are very picky when it comes to committing for life. And men have all reasons to be skeptical, because if he makes a bad choice, he will be stuck with the same woman forever. Why? Because monogamy is what he offers to a woman, is what he brings to the table. When he marries her, monogamy is what she gets, and monogamy is all he has to offer on this day and age when women can pay their own bills. That's why women get upset when a man is unfaithful. But most women dream about being married and having a family. That's why the fact that she needs to become the best deal possible put a lot of pressure on them. But in polygamy, a man is not giving up on anything when he marries a woman, because if he makes a bad choice, he still have other options and he can marry as much women as he wants. The truth is that polygamous societies and men would marry a woman a lot faster and easier than in monogamous societies. If we all became polygamous, probably we would have to face less psychological health problems associated with personal image, such as bulimia or anorexia. Now, for the people in the front that wants the price of sex to be low, this is what you can expect. If the price of sex was low, women would have to perform more in the bedroom. Not just only the sex workers, but all women to compensate for the low price. This is a bad thing because there would be more abortions. Why? Because accidents happen sometimes when women are sexually active. Women would have to use more birth control, what would make them more unhealthy and probably affect their fertility capacity. That would be a much more hostile world, and women would compete more with each other for men's attention. One way women compete with each other is by advertising their product or their bodies, by wearing smaller skirts or showing more cleavage. So, if the price was low, we would see a lot of more women walking around almost naked. The high competition between women would increase animosity between them. Let me give an example. Another way women compete is by gossiping about secrets related with the amount of sexual partners a woman actually had in the past. If the price was low, women would gossip more as a way to punishing promiscuous girls by shaming them for the amount of partners they had, but also as a way to badmouth and lower her competition. Because remember, women want sex price to be high. So women will naturally try to raise the price by controlling each other, by suppressing each other's sexuality. Gossiping is a good example, but a better example is the amount of female internet influencers, the dating experts that advise girls to not have sex before she gets a commitment. Both of those behaviors could be seen as a form of sexual economic cartel. But a lot of radical examples it's, for example, what happens in some cultures where young girls have their genitalia removed by their mothers with the intent of suppress their sexuality so women becomes less interested in having sex and less promiscuous. Because remember, women promiscuity makes the price of sex to go lower. What else could happen if the price of sex was higher? Or what could we expect if the price of sex was lower? Let me know in the comments below. With this information, you are able to keep the price of sex always high. But if you want to take this information to the next level, I will teach you how to keep the price of sex even higher. So, watch my next video about the purity movement. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye!